I've been saving this project for a rainy day. One of those days where you don't have much time for anything, but you still want to make something. And I think this project should be short and sweet. Today we make the giant cacti. I have a bag of polystyrene balls just for this occasion, and because there's not very much to this, I also have a mountain of Q&A questions from you. And look at how small that font is. Thank you so much, everyone. I think this whole project will probably be easier if I glue it to a base first. Here's our first question from Red Bricks 1. If you would make another Warhammer army, what would it be? Also, love your videos. That's very nice, thank you.
I love converting, I love kit bashing, and I love miniatures that serve multiple purposes. So I'm thinking it'd be really cool to do like Chaos Knights in 40k, but also make them like Chaos Mega Gargants for Age of Sigmar, and so you could like magnetize the bits in and out so they could play both games. I think it'd be really fun. I don't have the budget at the moment, but one day.
How big are we going to make our cactuses? Maybe the two smallest, and then maybe like a big one later. Now I think the secret is that we have to kind of like compress them, squish them. I'm really not trying to do too much retro Warhammer stuff, even though it seems like you really enjoy it. Today was just one of those days where, like, you know, didn't really have much of an opportunity to do what I loved. It was like paperwork, applying for houses and studios and, you know, that sort of thing. Trying to cram in exercise because I'd love to do the 5k run at Adepticon this year. Kind of exhausted, and this seemed like, I don't know, the perfect thing to do after a big day. Actually, many of the old retro 40k and Warhammer tutorials do seem exactly for that. Tutorials from a time when people were honest about how much extracurricular activity time they had. I don't know how you're meant to make armies now and beautiful tabletops to the standards of, you know, modern White Dwarf, modern army books. My local clubs and shops and stuff, nobody has painted armies that look like White Dwarf articles. They don't look like armies that you see on Instagram either, you know, like that's a whole nother different standard of hobby that just doesn't exist in my world, in my actual world, the actual playing world with real people. Anyway. Couple of balls. Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm going a little off script here. Man, I definitely didn't put the lid back on this. Ugh. But I'm going to coat everything in Mod Podge and bicarb soda. Just for the grittiness. Because like I think this like styrofoam, because the styrofoam has like a texture to it. If you just put paint on there, it still looks like it's got little bauble-y expanded beads in it. While I do this, how about another Q&A question? Mutant Goblin Caravan says, I'd love to see how many weird little goblin guys you can make as quick and Trent way possible. I don't know what that means. Could you make a goblin texture roller or a big block mold that does 100 gobos at a time, or another third clever way? Love your work either way. I love the premise, and like the gears in my brain are already turning. I'm thinking like how they make like hard candies. I'm thinking like those necro molds. I'm even thinking like ice magic. like that chocolate you put on ice and then it like sets immediately. I have a lot of ideas. I will absolutely do this if you can find someone that will paint as many as I can make in 1 minute. Okay, come with me. We're gonna get things dry. This is a bin and this is a hairdryer, and we just blow hot air inside the bin, the big metal bin. That bin's not getting very hot, by the way. It's just like a gentle breeze over the top of it, and the hairdryer is elevated off the ground. It should be right. Maybe you don't do that. Maybe just leave the dumb things to me. Dry. Ready to go. Look, interesting texture. Much more interesting. I think I'm going to spray paint these. Why did I paint these pink when they're going to be green? I don't know.
Okay, how about another question? This one is from Ian Burr. How many hours do you have in an average video? Well, if you asked me a couple of weeks ago, that would have been a very hard question to answer. Some of those videos took days, some of them took weeks, some of them took months. But if I'm being honest, so much of that time was spent in probably an unhealthy way, whether it's like just overthinking or procrastinating or like obsessing over little details and stuff that weren't really necessary. The other side of that is that I produce things as quickly and with as much heart as I can within a limited time frame. And at the moment, I'm trying to do something every single day, which is like a muscle that's been very hard to train. And like I have learned all sorts of skills to try to make things as fast as possible. I've made like tools and special equipment and all that sort of stuff to make my process as efficient as possible. But right now, all consuming. I'm doing this from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. My girlfriend is very understanding, and I promise I sleep a usual amount of hours a day, so you don't need to worry.
I think we've done toothpicking. And now I want to seal all the toothpicks to the body. And I'm thinking Mod Podge and maybe paint or pigment or something, just to tie it all in. Red. Oh man, okay. Right. I can't... Ugh. I think the Mod Podge ruined it a little bit. It made it all like sort of soft and glossy and got rid of any texture, and just it doesn't look like a plant at all anymore. I've tried adding washes, and now the washes are taking off original paint from the toothpicks. I think I'm just gonna have to repaint everything, which is okay, because the second time is always better. Okay, I think I've got another idea. I've primed all this with the fluoro color of the spikes. That's the color I love the most. But the actual bauble-y bit is kind of a bit how you going. So I'm thinking I'll cover it in glue and then maybe flock it, and then that will tie it in with the rest of the table.
I really wanted the cactus to stand out from the base, from the table, which also uses the same flock. So I used watered down yellow-green paint, and like I built up layers of it in sort of like patchy sections. So you'd still get the texture and like the variance in the colors of flock that's on the cactus, but also make it punchy and vibrant and retro.
Are you ready?
Ta-da! This is our finished spiky cactus, our classic cactus. Honestly, they might be a little bit too big. Yeah, that would be my criticism. They look very big compared to those little space marines.
It is the next day, and I was going to make a different video entirely, but I couldn't get this bloody cactus out of my brain. I thought I should just tack this onto the end of it. I made some smaller cactuses, and I made them after consulting a wonderful book, How to Make Wargames Terrain. I saw they recommended using modeling putty, and it worked really good. I made these little cactuses, and then I got really inspired, and I wanted to make a chaos cactus. And I had this bootleg mold kicking around that I'd made, and it was molded off of kind of a rare model. And I'm not sure how much I can tell you, but if you can tell me where this skull is from, I'll give away my secrets. Is that fair? Also, I've made like a little secret video for the rest of the day of doing a Q&A. It's down in the description. So I've answered every single question that I got, I think. Hope you enjoy it.